Well, everybody, welcome back to Everybody's Juggles TV on this beautiful Saturday. It is indeed Saturday, October 1st. No, September 30th. I guess we're not quite there to October, so don't pressure me, don't rush me. But talking about life update and specifically end of suffering, I have a quote here in the bottom. Leave me a comment below, by the way, if you are watching me live on Instagram, wherever you may be, Facebook, the YouTubers, the Facebook land, etc. Welcome. Un saludo a todos mis amigos. I have a quote down there that says, the trials we're facing are stepping stones that take us closer to the treasure we're looking for. Test, let me put a period there. Tests are testing if our desires are our true essence. Trials, let's see here, fixing some of that there. Trials are an enigma waiting to be unraveled, meaning discovered. And this is a quote that I read, not my own, by the way. And then, like turning a page, changes occur. The path is realigned. And in a short time, the things we desire begin to realize. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that exactly the truth of all this? We all are facing obstacles. We have something that we're trying to sell that is not selling. We have another thing that we want that's not happening. It's been this long. It's taken too long. Isn't that amazing? Because I was hearing somebody else talk about something that they're selling that's not happening. And because I'm not personally, emotionally attached to it, and the key there is emotionally, then to me, it's been like 150 days, I guess that would be 5 months of this. It's a house that's not selling. And so listening to this person, I'm thinking that's nothing, right? 5 months. It could be 6 months, a year. But because to this person, it's attached to, it's not even a financial thing, it's an emotional thing dealing with X, Y, and Z. For them, there's deep sadness and frustration and where are you, God? I'm on the outside looking in thinking, oh, it's a great house. I mean, this is going to sell. It's in a great part of town. You know, I'm more logical because I'm not saying I'm logical. I'm just saying because I'm outside of it, I can have perspective. That is easy to see practically what is really happening. Whereas for this person, it's just too much. It's overwhelming because they're, as I said, attached to the emotions of it. They attach suffering to it. Whereas I don't. I see it practically for what it is. 4 or 5 months, just try a couple things, blah, blah, blah. It's a great house, etc., etc. Even if it takes 6 months, a year, let's say. You don't need the money. It's a wonderful thing. I can be more practical and logical. Now, I'm facing something that is not happening that I lose perspective over. And the same thing, because now I'm the one, quote, suffering. I'm thinking it's been, in my case, it's been 8 months. This thing is not happening. Therefore, I am worthless. I am not loved. Nobody wants me. I need to do more. If I only was this or that. Same thing, different scenario, but the same thing. Now, when other people look at me, they're like, oh, you're fine. Like, what are you talking about? There's no problem, right? But for me, because I'm emotionally attached to this problem or this need, I lose perspective. And that's really what happens when we are suffering, is we don't have the perspective that other people have because we're so close to it. We're emotionally attached, invested. We're the ones, quote, suffering. But truly, there is no suffering. All there is happiness. Because the reality is, for the thing that I want, it'll happen. For the thing that this person wants, it'll happen. Because I just know. I can see it. It's pretty easy to see. But we are blind to our own blessings, to our own happiness. And we are way too aware of our suffering and what we consider suffering. And truly, there is no suffering. All there is what is. I have my Rubik's Cube here that my father-in-law, he didn't give it to me, but it was one of those things that I always loved in his house, so I have it now. There's a whole story behind it of success and my personality type, but maybe I'll tell you someday. I don't know how to solve it anymore. I probably could still remember. I used to be like the king of this back in 6th, 7th grade. Ironic how now I'm teaching 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Isn't that amazing? God works in mysterious ways. So I work with a lot of young people. I am a life coach to young adults in the area of relationships, anxiety, mental health, all those beautiful things. I have my beautiful family here that you've seen many times. That is what qualifies me, I guess. I am not a counselor, I'm not a therapist. But I am just someone who was changed from, you could say, darkness to light in my college years. I went through a ton of stuff like young people today with relationships and mental health, and yet I was so successful. And a lot of the young people that I coach are exactly that. They're very successful, very high achieving, but they have these hang-ups when it comes to love or body language, or not body language, but maybe their own self-awareness of their bodies and or body image, I guess is what I mean to say. But most of all, it deals with personality, relationship, Enneagram stuff, of course, prayer, trusting God, and yet how do I bring it all together? So I'm kind of the bring it all together person. And as I said, my success or my credentials, really, it's all right here. This is my credential. Yeah, I have a master's degree. Yeah, I'm working on a doctorate. But none of that matters. What matters is simply this picture. This is my credential. The fact that by the grace of God, I began when I was just a young man, and here I am today with this family that God has blessed me with, and most of all, my beautiful wife and the marriage that we have built together. But when it comes to suffering, as I said, we all are blind to our own happiness, and we're way too aware of our suffering. That really doesn't exist. Now, is grief not suffering? Is illness not suffering? Is joblessness not suffering? Is a broken relationship not suffering? Is anxiety? Yes, of course. There is suffering. There is pain in the night. But joy comes in the morning. Gozo, right? That's why we call this show the Gozo Trig Podcast of Joy. The Gozo TV. I'm the Gozo man. And we talk about joy because that's what we lose sight of, is the joy or the happiness that is all around us. I am truly a happy man. I don't have a perfect mental situation right now. I have this and that that's missing, and I wish this and I wish that, and I miss this and I miss that. But all of that is just my mind creating suffering. Now, would I like to be 20 pounds lighter? Yes, of course, and wake up at 5 and work out? Yes. I'm not doing that because I'm not doing it. Would I like to be working at a mega church, making $200,000, doing music and working with young people? Yes, I don't have that. But I have B. I don't have A, but I have B. And if I am in my blindness, I'm only looking at A and thinking that is suffering. Or if I only had B, then I would truly be happy. And that would be true. It's not that that's not happiness, or more happy, or more fulfilled, or more meaning, or more authenticity. Yes, of course, it's better to have more money than less. It's better to be healthier than not. It's better to not lose your parents than to lose them. Of course, there are things that are better, but in light of the fact that there is pain in the night, we can think more clearly. I don't know if we can, but we can hear other people. And that's why counseling and coaching is so important, and they can help us see what's really going on. My life is blessed. Your life is blessed. But I don't feel blessed. I don't feel happy. And then some people spiritual bypass the whole thing. God, God, God. Yes, of course. I find God to be very important. But I find wisdom, the wisdom of God, to be important in my life. Some people can get there through verses alone. Other people like me need verses and worship, but we get there also through wisdom, books and podcasts and videos and counseling and research and learning and reading, a ton of reading. I have all these books here behind me that are both books on just commentaries and Bible studies, systematic theology, and the other half are on mental health, and maybe what I meant to say is personal development, how to think greatly, or how to think great, how to achieve. I'm a big Deion Sanders fan. I wasn't a big fan of his in his playing days, but now, of course, what he's doing in Colorado, they almost beat USC today. I lived in Colorado. We had a great time there. Shout out to my CO family out there in Arvada, Denver area, Boulder. But what I love about him is his, I mean, this is a man who, did he have a toe amputated? I believe so. I don't know if it is or close to it, or I don't know. But obviously he has some issue there with his toe. And for a man that uses his body to coach, and obviously he was a DB and wide receiver and etc., this is a major thing. This is his Jacob's kind of thorn in his side, or Jacob's injury, if you want to call it that, kind of his thorn in the flesh. And for me, yeah, anxiety and all that goes with that is my thorn in the flesh. We all have one. But you've heard him, right? How he motivates himself, how he speaks about himself, and there for his kids and school and everything else. What an example to me. What an example of how to live in your happiness. All there is happiness. Yes, of course, we say, like today, we lost. We didn't do a great job with special teams, or our first half running game wasn't good, or whatever it may be. Yes, of course. But his mindset is just out of this world. It's not just positive. He believes. And is he selling you a dream? In part, but it's better to sell you a dream than to sell you a swamp. I'd rather be sold, and most of all, believe a dream than to believe. I don't know what happened out there. Things got louder suddenly. I don't know. Than to believe in sadness. Let me go check that out really quick. I'll be right back. Okay, and I'm back. It was just the TV. But anyway, so I was also thinking just now how a year ago, maybe even longer, I felt so in the gutter about finances and all this stuff, right? Stuff I've been dealing with for about 2 years. And then about 3 months ago, I almost had this amazing paying job at a great church, mega church, and I was one of two finalists, blah, blah, blah. It didn't happen. And so I remember making a list. You know how you make a list of all the things I would buy if I would get this high paying job and all this stuff, right? Including a table, kitchen table, including a dresser, including some monitors. Now we're talking about the table maybe was $500, and the dresser would be like $300, and these monitors are like $500. So let's say $2,000. Okay. Now, do we have $2,000? Of course, by the grace of God. But scarcity mindset, right? I thought, if I have this high-paying job, this is all emotional. This is not facts. Then I deserve. This is very 3. We live in shame. I deserve to get that table and blah blah. If I don't receive this job, then I don't deserve these things that I need, or I may even have the money for, or that God would just simply provide somehow, some way. So I still don't have that high-paying job at a mega church. I have other things that God has provided, and we can pay our bills, no problem. And so, but here's God. So 3 months ago, we bought some couches. Then they had this problem, so we returned them. And we ended up keeping the couches, and they gave us store credit for, guess what? Just enough money to buy a brand new table and a new dresser. So the dresser that you see behind me, we're going to get a brand new one in about a week or two. And then the table that is outside, that I was feeling so terrible that I couldn't afford to buy a new table, is going to be sent to us for free, quote unquote. Now, we did buy the couches, so but still, we are getting it for free because we're keeping the couches, plus they're giving us store credit. You know what I mean? And then these monitors that I wanted, because I am working full time, I bought them just this morning. And it was such a big deal for me. I was torturing myself emotionally, feeling I'm a failure, blaming myself, living in shame, again, heart triads, because I didn't have this high-paying job at a mega church that meant I'm meaningful, all emotional. I am meaningful. I could get a job, and I have one, and I'm working on a couple other things. It didn't matter. It wasn't about the reality. Now, yes, when your circumstances change, yes, you tend to react differently. If you make more money, you tend to feel happier. That's just normal. If you lose 20 pounds, you tend to feel better. I mean, these are just normal things. But the truth is that God is at work in giving you happiness today. Even if you're ill, even if you're broke, even if you're broken up with your friendship or relationship, no matter what it is. You know what I'm going to do? It says here that this thing is not encoding properly. So let me see if I need to turn down some things before I keep going. It's already at a 2,000. Wow, it's pretty low, huh? I don't know what's going on. We'll just leave it there. I don't know. We'll see what happens. It seems like the bit rate is going fine, but yeah, the CPU is working a little harder than normal. 59. Oh, that's what it is. The frames per second. Yeah, it's too high. 59. And let me try something else again. I don't think I can change anything though, right? Can I? No, I don't think I can. Audio, video. Yeah, I can't change it while it's going. Yeah. I'll have to change it afterwards. Anyway, so happiness, right? When I was talking to my friend about this house that she's trying to sell, I could see it. All I could see was happiness. I thought, wow, you're selling a house? You don't even need the money, and when you sell the house, you're going to have all this cash? Wow, what a blessing. Oh, so it's taken longer than you expected. Well, it is kind of a bad time to sell a house, isn't it? No one's buying a lot of stuff. It makes sense. What if in 6 months you sell it for twice as much? Or even if you sell it for what it's worth? Great. You don't need the money. It's free money, quote unquote. Whatever you're going to get, you're going to get. What a blessing. What a blessing. Wow, lucky you, right? And so, but because she's emotionally attached to it, and it's not just the money, it's what it represents, it's how long it, all these things, all she sees is suffering. And there's deep suffering for really her and all of her family. Just a lot of crying out to God, which is what we do as humans. We lose perspective. For me, I'm thinking, why are you crying? You don't need the money. There's really no crisis, but it's taking longer. And again, it's emotionally attached to other things. Same thing for me with this job thing or this table. When I was looking at it emotionally, I thought, oh no, tears. And I still deal with those tears over, even just yesterday, I was at this place and it was a beautiful place. I was like at Disneyland. We did a tour of this amazing high school in Orange County. Just beautiful place, just beautiful. Maybe you can look at my Instagram. Amazing pictures, amazing program that they have there. I might maybe get a job there. I don't know. There's no guarantees, but I know some people and blah, blah, blah. Incredible. But now in my head, because I'm so close to what I don't have, all I could see was suffering, sadness. I don't belong here. Nobody wants me. Nobody loves me. All these lies. No one's telling me that. Are there people that may not like me? Sure. But are there a bunch of people? And plus, what's the point? It's about God. Oh, the table. And boom, God says, here you go, a table and a dresser. Oh, the monitors. God's like, there you go. Oh, the house won't sell. One day, this family I'm working with, there you go. Boom. The house will sell, plus who knows what blessings God has. Who knows what plan B God has. Like with the tables. All I could see was, I don't have money. I don't have a job. I'm meaningless. Again, telling myself these lies had nothing to do with the practical things. And so, and I have to then be up here in order to deserve to buy a table. God's like, you silly man. First, you are worthy. Second, here's a job that is good enough for now. And third, I'm going to give you a table for free plus a dresser. Plus a free dresser for this house. The house, what's the truth of from God's perspective? Even my perspective, anyone on the outside. Not only are you going to sell this house, family, lady, but it's going to come with A, B, C, and D. I don't know. It hasn't happened yet, but that's how God works. We had a car, Canela's car, that was falling apart. I remember this one day. She called me literally in tears because the lights were all going off crazy, and I had been working on that car for months, almost a year. Nothing worked. We took it here, took it there. She has a brand new car. Alexa sitting outside. David, the same thing. Smog check wouldn't pass, suffering. Oh no, blaming myself. If I was only the same thing. If I was only rich, then I could bless my son with a car. Because I don't deserve to be worthy of God blessing me, because I'm not, again, very three, right? We all have these things that would tell us. If you're a 1, I'm not perfect enough. If you're a 3, I'm not good enough. If you're a 2, I don't love enough. If you're a 4, I'm not unique enough. I'm a 5, I don't know enough. I'm a 6, I'm not free enough. An 8, people are controlling me. 9, I don't do enough. We all tell ourselves these lies on why we don't deserve the things we want. And guess what happened with our son's car? I still have it, which I'll sell it, the Volvo. I'm going to probably sell it for maybe $3-4 grand. It's a beautiful Volvo station wagon, classic, 95, 93. Great condition. It won't pass a smog check. It's maybe just a couple of things away from doing. Long story short, he had some savings. We had some savings. We bought him pretty much a 3-year-old car with only 15 or 16,000 miles. 1.6. The other one that we were looking at, because we're looking at another car, it had 80,000 miles. Same price. Long story, God led us to not just a car, but better miles, same price, way newer, with better coverage, blah, blah, blah. And it's his dream car. Maybe, again, you've seen his pictures on my Instagram, at David Trig. Amazing. Yeah, it takes time at times, right? This family's house, okay, it's been 5 months. They thought it would happen in 5 days. For me, okay, it's been 8-9 months. I thought it would be 8-9 days. Okay, but God is going to do something amazing in His time. It's going to be way exceedingly abundantly beyond anything I could ever dream or imagine, right? That's what's happened with the car, with the tables, with this dresser, you name it, right? It's what God does. But we are people of little faith. Oh, ye of little faith, who will deliver you from this world of evil, right? Who will deliver us? What's the verse? I love that verse. Who will deliver you from this body of shame? I think is what it says, right? Who will deliver? Who will rescue me from this body of death? Oh, wretched man that I am. Romans 7:24. Who will deliver me from this body of death? That's what we really are. We're just wretched people in our poor bodies that are just simply dust, need to be delivered from this world of death. We just live in this death mindset. And there is death. And I went through that with my father, with my father-in-law, with my mother-in-law, with my grandmother, with my uncle. It's horrible to lose family. It's horrible to lose your father when he was only 57. As I approach that, not yet, but it plays with my mind a little bit, but it really shouldn't. What am I talking about? I'm going to live till I'm 107, right? In Jesus' name. Oh, about my father. Okay. So life happens. All there is happiness. All there is happiness. Any suffering that you're feeling in your body, in your mind, in your emotions, is it make-believe? Yes, it really is. Because, as I said, if you were to ask someone else now, if you lost your son, if you lost your father, there are things that you can't say, oh, okay, this is not suffering. There are things. Everything is suffering. There is pain in the night. But what we attach to it is my point. The level of despair that we attach to it is man-made. Like with my monitors, like with this dresser and this table, like with this house that won't sell. It's all just made up suffering that we contribute. It's like what's his name? John Huffman, is that his name? Acorn, I forget his name. I bought his book about circumstances create our thoughts, create our feelings. Our thoughts create our feelings, basically. Same house for this family and for me, same circumstance. Their thought is, because it's been 150 days, oh no, feeling is despair. Where is God? God, you don't care. What am I doing wrong? I'm not trusting you enough. I'm unworthy. All these horrible things, right? And so therefore the actions is despair and maybe desperation and maybe make the wrong decision. For me, I'm outside of it. Same circumstances as someone I care for. My thought is, it's a matter of time. Great house, great location. You don't need the money. What are my feelings? Awesome. Patience, love, perspective. What are my actions? I don't have any really negative feelings about it. That's the truth. But we are not always living in the truth. The truth will set us free. But we live often in lies. Now, back to my case. Let's say with my job, oh no, yesterday, oh no, I don't belong, I don't deserve it, I'm so terrible, I don't like this, I don't like that, I'm unworthy, I'm filled with shame, I'm so woe is me, God, where are you? What does someone outside of my situation can say? You have a master's degree, working, you talk to it, you're young, you're beautiful, you're handsome, look at you, you're online, you have this impact, you have this thing that's leading to that, and man, it's just a matter of time. Just wait to see, Trig, what God is going to do. Right? People can say it to me, and same circumstances. My truth, though, is suffering, and my feelings are despair, fear, worry, shame, and therefore my actions are more of the same. Right? Whereas for a friend or a counselor, or a therapist, or my wife, people that are outside of the situation, just enough can say same circumstances, but their thought is, man, this guy's amazing. Their feelings are, I can't wait to see what God's going to do. And their actions are, what do you have to worry about? You're good. Let's go get some food. Let's go get some coffee. That's the truth. But we make suffering our reality. We seem to be suckers for suffering as humans. And I'm not saying there is no suffering, once again, or that we don't have to, lower the price of the house, or in my case, I maybe have to apply here and apply there and maybe edit my resume here, or maybe I need to talk to this person or not talk to these people. Yes, of course. You have to still act and do the right things and all that stuff. But all that is what is. Jesus said, look at the fields. All there is what is. That's all there is. They're not worrying. My eucalyptus right now has got this bug that's kind of, killing it slowly. I hope not. Knock on eucalyptus wood. And I could be worried about it. And I am a little bit. So I call this guy and hopefully he'll spray it or something so that the tree lives. But my point is a tree suffering? You could say it is, but the point that Jesus gave us is look at the fields. They do not labor or spin. They simply are. If the tree's supposed to die, and I hope not, I don't think it will. I sure hope not. But anyway, my point is, all there is what is. I will definitely try to obviously not let my eucalyptus tree die. It's a beautiful tree. We've had it my whole life here. Our whole 30 years we've been in this house, 25 years. So obviously we'll do whatever it takes. My point is, all that is what is. My father-in-law did pass away. My father, who's in heaven, did die. My grandmother. All there is what is. How do I feel about my father passing away now? I miss him daily, but I don't grieve him the way I did 20 years ago. I'm more thankful, more perspective. I love him. I miss him. I have more perspective regarding my grandma. When things are fresh, like with my father-in-law or with my mother-in-law, especially for my wife and for us too, with David, our son, who just moved out last week, when things are fresh, losses, grief, moving out, moving away, losing a job or whatever it may be, of course, your pain is going to be way higher at the beginning, and it's going to subside over time. Grief doesn't really change, but your life expands. Everything around you begins to expand. You learn from them in a different way. You begin to remember the good times, not just the loss. You begin to remember the coaching or their words of wisdom, not just the pain, the sting of loss. That's what happens with Christ, with Jesus, without addictions, without destroying your life. When you're going through midlife stuff, like I've been through these last 5-6 years, it's easy to just lose your life, want to just stop living, or go and get drunk, or whatever crazy midlife thing that men or women can do. But the advice, I've read a ton of books, is to just hang in there. It will get better. And I can see at the end of the tunnel here, hopefully soon, things getting better. Maybe even better than ever. I'm still young, blah, blah, blah. But again, our minds get in the way. I wrote a song years ago called "The Train." I was waiting on the station there, the Blue Line. And I don't know, I was having all these negative thoughts. And I thought, why am I so sad? But my thoughts get in the way. I have everything. I'm here waiting for the train. I'm here going to go and work at USC. I'm wearing my suit and tie, blah, blah. But I was suffering somehow because, oh, no, I'm not driving a BMW on my way to USC. Instead, I'm here waiting for the train. I thought I'm blessed because I love my job. And guess what? I could drive a BMW tomorrow if I want. I almost bought one 2 weeks ago, except that we bought our son a nice car. So, but in time, I will have a BMW. I have a nice Lexus right now. That's worth who knows how much. Anyway, but in my mind, I was suffering. I was creating suffering, just making stuff up. Our thoughts get in the way. Ask a friend. Tell me what you really see. Do you think I'm bad, or I should be desperate or filled with shame? Or they're going to say nope. If they're honest, of course, right? Now, if they're not honest, they're going to lie to you and say, oh yeah, don't worry about anything. Or they're going to say, yeah, it's pretty bad. Most people, of course, are going to say nice things, which is good. But you want someone who knows you and who can analyze and give you truth. And they don't have to be really fixing anything for you. Most of us don't like people fixing things for us. Some people do. But most of us just want to be told, you're okay. It's going to be okay. You're normal. This is normal. Grief, loss, sadness, job loss, worrying, shame, fear, anger. This is normal. It's okay to be you. It's okay to be human. It will be fine. It will get better. I mean, look at the pandemic. I'm not wearing a mask or worried about anybody killing me or me dying or how old my mom is or she lives in another country or all these things that we used to worry about. Oh, I see people with masks. Oh, no, I should wear one. Oh, what if I got the stupid virus? It was bad for a week. Did I already have the vaccine? No, I don't think. Did I? I don't remember. I think I had the vaccine already. I think so. I think I got it post-vaccine. I don't remember now. That's how crazy this is, right? I don't even remember what happened. I lived in fear for, I would say, 2 years during that pandemic. I'm ashamed to say. Gave into it because of X, Y, and Z. And that's what we do when we lose perspective. That's why we need people, coaches. That's why I'm a coach. That's why I love to help people, young people especially, or midlife, to walk them through some of their own mind games, overthinking and overfeeling and overloving, or just being blind to our own habits, our unconscious motivations, the things that we're living from, the lies that we're acting out from. And so that's what I love to do. It's what I do to myself daily, imperfectly, but I keep moving forward, and my life is better and better every day, every year. I believe with my whole heart. My life is better now than it was 10 years ago and it was 20 years ago, without a doubt. And that's what I do now, coaching young adults and people at midlife. So if you would like my coaching, DM me, message me, email me, wherever you may be, on Insta, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Facebook. Just message me, email me, Trig@davidtrig, and let's set up a first session. We can do a kind of just a 45-minute session, and then from then we can get on some sort of plan. I have a 3-month plan, a 6-month, and a 12-month program, different packages to help you along your journey to become a more happy, content, fulfilled, purposeful, God-fearing, focus on Jesus person for you and those you love, in Jesus' name. Okay, thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you next time. Adios.